We are live now.
All right. It's a lovely Sunday noon, and hello and welcome to everyone present here. I am pleased to welcome you all for the fifth session of PEFILive 2.0. Thank you, each and every one of you, for being here with us. My name is Amrita Pandey, and I have the privilege of being the moderator for today's session. Before it gets started, I would once again, on behalf of Physical Education Foundation of India, like to welcome the dignitaries present with us today. It's a lovely Sunday noon, and hello. Today, as the expert, we are pleased to have with us Dr. Sheila Stephen ma'am, the Vice Chancellor of Tamil Nadu Physical Education and Sports University, Chennai. Also, we are glad to have with us Dr. Namita Saini ma'am, Associate Professor in the Department of Physical Education and Sports Sciences, Institute of Home Economics, University of Delhi. From Team PEFI, we are accompanied by Mr. Tarun Kumar Sharma, a yoga and wellness guru.
Your screen paused, Amrita ma'am. Your screen is paused. Can you hear me, Dr. Amrita? Are you able to hear me, Dr. Amrita? Okay, I think some connection problem with the Dr. Amrita's. So I would like to welcome Dr. Sheila Stephen ma'am. She's the Vice Chancellor, Tamil Nadu Physical Education and Sports University, Chennai. From the PEFI family, we welcome you, ma'am.
Thank you very much.
And we have the Dr. Namita Saini also. She's the Associate Professor, Department of Physical Education and Sports Sciences, Institute of Home Economics, University of Delhi. We welcome from the PEFI family, ma'am. And we have the expert today, Dr. Sheila Stephen. Ma'am, with the topic of psychology interface with sports. Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah.
And our PEFI family, our audience, we are eagerly waiting to hear you.
Yeah. Can I go ahead?
Yes, ma'am. Please, please.
Yeah. I'll share the screen now.
Amrita, ma'am, you are muted.
Yes, sir. Ma'am, you can share the screen.
Okay. Is it going good? Is it right?
Yes, ma'am. We can see the screen. You can please proceed.
Okay. Yeah. I'm really privileged to be part of PEFI now. And I'm so happy for the wonderful program which has been arranged by PEFI. I congratulate you. And deep appreciation to PEFI. And thank you so much for inviting me. I'm so glad. And your contribution, PEFI's contribution is something so great. I love it because it gives a very great platform for sharing knowledge with everyone. To begin with, I just want to make a quote. This is for the young and the growing physical educationists and others. A bend in the road is not the end of the road unless you fail to make the turn, says Helen Keller. We all know that Helen Keller is a blind and a deaf woman. She's motivating the others, stating, a bend in the road is not the end of the road. You're all in the live stream and we walk across and the life may be successful, may not be successful also. But at the same time, this slides talk to the younger generation that we need to make a turn, not a U-turn, maybe a right turn or a left turn, and to find a new way for the success of the life. So with this motivating quote, which has been given by Helen Keller, I move to the next thing. I have divided my presentation in sort of 5 parts and 5 phases, I should say. One talks about our university. I thought my presentation on this platform will be really useful because for the people who are watching, the physical educationists and coaches who are watching this program. So my introduction about our university will be the first one. And then I go about talking on the power of sports in our life. And the third one is about the main theme, the interface, how the psychological principles are involved in sports. The fourth one will be the technology and the sports management. Finally, I would like to give a brief introduction about the adapted physical education and the therapeutic recreation for which we need to work on helping the differently abled. So this, at the screen, you see the administrative block where you have all the officers and the meeting part and other things, syndicate and other important things. And we have the academic block, next one at the down below, where we have all the classrooms, seminar halls, computer center, smart classrooms, media center, language lab, etc., etc. So you should also understand that this institution was born in 2005, and we came into this particular area of 125 acres of land in 2011. So we have grown a large. So many new things have come up, and you should also appreciate the other vice chancellors who have been working on this earlier. My predecessor, I should thank them also. So next you see, you should understand the courses we offer, because showing the building alone will not help anyone. So we have 8 important departments, 3 faculties and 8 departments. One is physical education, and the second one is exercise physiology and biomechanics, and yoga, and sports management and sports psychology, and sports sociology, technology, and sports coaching. So these are all the 8 important departments we have. We run important courses like MSc Exercise Physiology, MSc Sports Biomechanics, and MSc Yoga Therapy. And importantly, we have MSc, MTech Sports Technology. This is a very, very unique course we offer in our institution. And I'll take you to the university now. You can come along with me. The next slide is very wonderful to see. And we have this facility inside our campus. There's a very big water quarry. It takes around 7 to 9 acres of land. And it's nice. That's the best water source for our university. And the down below the slide gives you a picture of a lake, which has the facility for canoeing and kayaking. Our students are so good at it, and they're also participating in competitions using this facility. And now we have the rest of the buildings coming up. Again, the one which is shown below is a library. We have a very excellent library with all facilities and resources, journals, and the library is very big. At the inside of this library, you could see all these things being arranged. It gives a very wonderful ambience for the researchers to sit and work. I should say it is one of the best libraries in India among the universities of sports. So Tamil Nadu government has funded this particular library, and this facility is arised because of their help. And the next building is about the one you see at the top. It's a gym, and we have a canteen, and down below is a huge indoor auditorium. It's a multi-purpose indoor auditorium where we have basketball, badminton, table tennis, kabaddi, and it's very useful. Even the convocation, when His Excellency comes into the campus, we have our convocation being conducted in the indoor stadium only. You could see the inside of the auditorium. We have a nice gallery, and we have lots of competitions being held. Though our university is around 25 kilometers away from the main part of Chennai, there are so many people coming in, playing, and this has been very well used. And the next would be as usual, every university, sports university will have a sporting facility. This is one of the sporting facilities which is bordered by the lake. It's a very, very nice scene you can all enjoy. And I also take this opportunity to welcome all of you to be in our university. And this is the lake and the infrastructure sporting facilities. And the next one also is the aerial view of the basketball court, the field hockey, and the cricket ground. And some more facilities which I want to show is the conference hall. It's a huge, big hall with all ICT enabled room, the hall, also which will be used for multi-purpose, where we can have the seminar, conferences. It can accommodate nearly 1,500 students. And we also had an opportunity to having 2 international conferences conducted in the last year. So down below we have the yoga center, and it's also a big hall. You can see the women at the yoga class. At the university, we have around 600 students, and we have around 25 affiliated colleges, among which 5 of them are yoga colleges. So in total, we have around 4,000 students at the university, 600 of them in our campus, studying various courses. And we enjoy being together, and affiliated colleges also. One of them are the pioneering institution, YMCA College of Physical Education. And then we have the Morathi College of Physical Education, Sivandi Archanar College, Sarada College. These are all the renowned colleges of physical education, and they're affiliated to our university. And we have lots of laboratories. We have around 10 laboratories. I'm not showing any laboratories inside because I need to spend time talking to you on each and every equipment which we use. So it takes time. So I'm not showing it, the laboratory and the usages and how significant they are. And these are all the hostel facilities. We have 1 ladies hostel and 2 men hostels. In total, we can accommodate around 500 men students and around 250 students. One more new hostel is coming up, and I also take pride in introducing Sai. We are also trying to have a Sai center being established in our university. That's coming up probably the next academic year. And we have, this is all about the hostels. We have all ATM facilities, wonderful. It's a Wi-Fi campus, a very green campus. And one more new thing which we are introducing is the horse riding academy. Of late, we have trying to get 2 horses. The stable is ready. The place for fitness for the horses are ready. And we are starting the sports university is starting the horse riding academy with 2 horses. With this brief introduction, this is all about our students having a project meet, enjoying a sports day at our university. And one more new facility, which is very, very unique in South India, is the velodrome, cycle velodrome. This is a new facility. Actually, it has been done by Sports Development Authority of Tamil Nadu, and they have constructed it here. And it's a shared facility for the sports people, the cyclists, and for all the entire community as well. So with this, I come to the end of the first part, making a very, very brief introduction. I have told you about the facilities we have. I have highlighted the important sporting facilities. I also told you about the unique courses we have. So those who are interested to join our university can come forward. You can go into the website, get more and more about our university. Now I go to the second part where I want to talk to you on the power of sports. We have the sports gives power. We all know the sports gives life, and it prepares your mind. It makes you very assertive, and above all, it makes you to be a very, very powerful human capital. We know we have lots of forms of sports. The major 3 parts are the egalitarian sports, which is nothing but which has been done for the pursuit of pleasure, egalitarian sports. And the second one is the elite sports, where competition at high level is being highlighted here. And elite sports is for the pursuit of excellence. And the third one is the entertainment sports, which is mainly for the entertainment. Okay. And nowadays it is becoming more commercial. You have the the cricket. Though it is an entertainment sport, it has become more commercial. But any sports may be at any form. You can choose sports to be successful and to be an assertive at this sports field. So as you all know, sports is a buzzword and has an iconic status at this community and society. Even when you go to a doctor, he'll say, come on, you go for a walk, you do exercise. So like that, we give importance to sports, mainly the physical education coaches and for really with the physical activities. Only, it is said, only 60% of people, they are aware of sports. Among them, only 40% they sit, watch as spectator or participants or enjoy sports, talk about sports, read sports. But only 30% and below are actively participating in sports. That is the saddest part. And less than 1% are in the competitive sports. So as I told you, this makes you as a very powerful human capital. We become a very powerful human capital and we become very assertive if you are into sports because of the values it has. And please understand, when we participate in sports, it gives us lots of opportunities. It gives us opportunity for drawing the talents. It helps us to develop all the talents and deploy the talents. Wherever the talents are needed, we are using the talents. So the ground or the play field gives you the opportunities to identify the talents, develop the talents, and deploy the talents. And the excellent athletes or the elite athletes are called the unofficial ambassadors of a country because of the values they have developed, because they go into different countries and bring our name high. They bring back laurels to our country. So they are called the unofficial ambassadors of a country. And when we talk about physical activity, I have shown a physical activity pyramid, which everybody mostly will be knowing is nothing very new about it. But we should understand to do this physical activity pyramid, and we should be self-organized. See, at the base, you have activities which are very regularly done by an individual. You walk around, you go for gardening, you clean the house, you go up the staircase, you go out, work, come back. That also will give you some sort of physical activities. Secondly, we need to give importance to some particular activities which you are interested in, doing it for 3 or 4 or is it audible? Can I go ahead? Am I audible?
Ma'am, please go ahead.
So this is about the regular activities, and above we have some specific sport. We try to participate in like cycling or some specific sports we are interested in. Finally, it very nicely talks that we need to spend very little time watching the TV and using the technology and all that. Technology is useful, but still watching movies and getting into all technologies, I think we need to be careful about it. And one should have the self-motivation, and we need to organize ourselves to be successful and to become a powerful human capital. So this is all about the daily, regular basis, what we are supposed to do, and weekly, twice what we need to do to feel very comfortable physically and mentally. This slide I always use because there are two main reasons why we are not into sports. One is we spend a lot of time, as I told you, into technology. Second one is about our culture, sport culture. Most of us are not used to be developing ourselves into culture, and we do not depend upon our cultural intelligence also, and we do not want to make any change. This is a very wonderful slide, which always I show it wherever I make a presentation. The first man who is lying down, he says, everything these days is .com this and .net that. I just can't stand it anymore, says the person who is lying down. Probably his friend who is at the back, he says, I know a website that can help you. So again, he comes back and says, we have to go into technology. So like that, technology takes lots of our time, though it is useful, much useful, but we need to spend time taking care of our health, putting ourselves into sporting activities. That's more important. That's why, that's what this slide talks about. Now I told you the second main thing is the cultural differences. Even a small greeting part have lots of differences in the culture. Say first person, when he wants to greet, they hug one another. The second person, he is like giving a big vanakkam, namaste, and maybe a handshake, not at this situation. Like that, there are lots of cultural differences which are reflected in our day-to-day life. Maybe in our dressing, maybe in the choice of food, maybe the type of worship we make, and even in the greeting style. So we need to understand sports also, the sporting culture also has to be developed to a greater level, because the culture reflects very largely on sports. So we need to develop a very excellent culture, and we should also gain a cultural intelligence. And India lies very low in the cultural intelligence, it says. So, but our country had a very good cultural intelligence or sports culture, which is reflected even in Mahabharata and Ramayana. In Ramayana and Mahabharata, lots of incidents have been mentioned about the sports culture, and the Dronacharya has been the mentor and the coach for Pandava brothers. And Arjuna Award is been named after an archer, a famous archer. And Maruti also was a sports hero. And we also had a very great talent of developing new games, indigenous activities. And India had a very, very rich cultural heritage, even in sports culture. So we have invented lots of new games like Kho-Kho, Kusti, Kalaripayattu, Silambam, martial arts, and Lazim, yoga, Malcolm, etc., etc. So we are not bad. We are too good. But only thing, understanding and making a change in ourselves is important. Finally, I also give some new to explain the managing cross-cultural differences in different countries. The same symbol, this, is been identified as in UK, UK and USA it is okay. In Russia it is 0. In Japan it is money, and in Brazil it is an insult. So even a simple action has so many meanings in different countries. Like that, India also has not understood, as trying to understand sports culture in a positive way. So we need to be ready to accept the change for good. And here, as I talked, already mentioned, the values, and the values are developed because of sports. This is not very important. The human values, as you all know, physical, you become strong, you're flexible, you're agile, you're powerful, you have lots of endurance to continue to work. So physically, you have a greater value, and it gives lots of mental strength. And ethically and morally also, the sports persons are identified as very strong in ethical and moral values. I need not give examples, and this has been goes without saying, and that is why we depend upon. And social values also, it develops social values like cooperation, the teamwork, the leadership, and the economic values also. Now we are into the sports industry. There are lots of market-driven programs. There are lots of sports marketing, and IPL also is reaching the world agenda #1, because they are able to generate lots of funds, and the economic value also is lifted up because of sports industry. And you know one thing, America will not organize any other game unless it has some revenue. unless they are able to generate some fund, America will not go for. They will organize NBA. They will have the soccer because they know they will be able to get money through that. But Indians are not like that. We organize sports for the values which we arrive out of it. And here you should enjoy this picture. Though sports is a single entity, sports brings lots of unity. Okay, there is no individual differences. Though you can see hands of dark, tanned and fair, other hands are there. We do not think of the color, creed, or the caste. All these things are devoid from sports, and we are going beyond the differences, and we show lots of unity. Whenever you make an application for a job, they will ask you lots of questions caste, other things. But for sports alone, we do not think of anything, and we are united for one common goal without understanding, without giving importance to the different shades of other people. So we should love, enjoy being together, and we need to take care of one another. And one more important aspect, it comes through sports, is it makes you to be so disciplined. You become so controlled, and you learn the art of being disciplined. The rule number 1 says, this is just an example. The slide I like, so I have just posted it there. The boss is always right. That is the rule number 1. Rule number 2 says, if the boss is wrong, see rule number 1. That means we need to always stick on to the rules, and sports people are always good at following rules. You may be an NBA player, you may be an Olympian, but there we insist that they need to follow the rules wherever they are, and we honor one another, and our attitude towards athletics and the rules are different compared to others. So here also there's a statement talking about the relationship, building relationship. We build very good, excellent relationship through sports. The emotions, this picture depicts how we share the emotions in sports. All have same goal. So many coaches are there. Everybody want to to win. That's why they are reacting differently. See, at the right side, there are 2 coaches bouncing on the athletes, the players. At the left side, you have 3. One person hugging, is so happy about the victory. One has come humble down, has gone down, stooped down, and he's also sharing his love and joy. So unites, sports unites everybody. Gives a very excellent relationship. In no other part or entity will have such a wonderful union. So this picture depicts, I love this pictures also. See how aggressive a coach is shouting on an individual. But later, because for a good cause, he's shouting at him. And later, immediately, probably, he'll be able to hug him again and to be united. And this happened in, Leander Pace and Mahesh combination also. Initially, they were united, and one point of time they had to go out because of little misunderstanding, and again they came together. So as I told you, the sports can unite everybody, and this can happen because of the team cohesion. What is team cohesion? Team cohesion is the ability to bring the sports people stick together and remain united. Kiren defines cohesion as a dynamic process which is reflected in the tendency for a group to stick together. Okay, so the next slide will tell you how united they are. There may be differences of opinion among them. They may be from different areas. Their culture may be different, but look at the joy they enjoy after winning. There is no otherness. That is total togetherness with a lot of collective experience, and there is an intensive interpersonal relationship. Look at the players falling one over the other and enjoying the victory. So like that, this sports could bring lots of group dynamism, and the team cohesion is one important entity which everybody as a coach or a player or as a team manager should take care of the team understanding and listening. This also players should have art of listening. We were given 2 ears, but only one mouth. This is because God knew that listening was twice as important as hard as talking. So listening to coaches, listening to the managers, listening to one another will make you a larger victory that will bring success in sports. So learning also is an assertive part of sports. And I'm going to show you one particular act which talks about the unity in sports. This is nothing but a human pyramid. Okay, this is a single act, but this single act explains so many wonderful qualities of a sports person. So many good qualities are reflected in this particular moment. These are all my students when I was there working in YMCA College of Physical Education. They made a big human pyramid with all unity. You can guess what are the things which are reflected through this human pyramid. It could be first unity. There is a common goal for everybody, and it is they are tolerating one another, because one person is climbing on the other person, the person is down below has to tolerate, and perfect understanding. If one goes wrong, the entire pyramid will collapse, and there's a perfection in it. There is concentration is needed, and much of leadership is essential. So like that, this particular act itself, one simple act itself is reflecting on so many other things. So as I am trying to conclude the second part, because I told you this sports will bring you as a powerful human capital with having a lots of stock with good abilities, skills, personal attributes, the knowledge, the skills, the emotional intelligence, the physical fitness and wellness. So having developed all those good qualities which are listed here, an individual becomes a good stock, and he himself is called as a powerful human capital. He will be able to make lots of good products. He'll be so much productive in the world than a sick person. It is said 6%, because of the inactivity, because of non-participation in physical activity, the death percentage is 6%. So we need to encourage everybody into sports so that we'll be able to overcome this 6% also. So now, as I told you, this was the second part where I wanted to give the values of sports, how these attributes can bring you as a powerful human capital, as an assertive person at the country. Now, the mind plays a very, very important role. So the mind gymnasium, the mind of an athlete has to be molded, has to be prepared for the entire, to get ready with this particular thing. So now understand, this is a picture. There's a mind metaphor. Okay. There's a mind gymnasium. A sports person can be a very powerful, having a, can have a very powerful mind always by having a powerful gymnasium. There are 4 things which are explained. One is mind as a hologram, mind as a computer, mind as a clock, mind as a telephone exchange. What is a hologram? Hologram you might have seen, that can shine only when there is a light on it. Our mind also is like a hologram. There are lots of embedded thoughts inside. We have lots of sporting experience inside. But if you want to bring them out, there should be a light or a situation. It falls on that, and you react as a hologram and making use of the powerful mind. So our mind works as a hologram is one. The second one, the mind works, should work as a computer. Computer, what do you have? We have input and analysis of data, and then it comes as out as a result, and there is an output. Okay, and normally it is input and output. So sports person also should use their mind as a computer, and Am I audible, Dr. Charun? All right.
Yes, ma'am, you are audible. You
All
can
right.
please proceed.
Okay, okay.
Right.
Right. And so it is like a computer, and then our mind has to work as a clock. Clock doesn't stop in between, right? So our mind has to work as a clock continuously, okay? And all the parts of the body has to continuously work to be successful. And finally, it works as a telephone exchange, incoming, receiving the calls, incoming calls, giving signals, communicating with others. Like that's more important. As you are in a team sport, we need to communicate a lot, and you need to be signaling. You should have a better relationship. All those things are reflected in the as a telephone exchange. So for the mind to be very strong, and for to use your mind at the right time, at the right way, at the right situation, the mind gymnasium will be stronger. That is why I have brought this. And there's a wonderful example which has been given by, I think you can understand, identify the person who is in the picture. I think it is Michael Jordan. Okay. He was an NBA player, in the team member of Chicago Bulls. He says, these young guys don't realize how much of the game is played in your head. Okay. The game is played in the head. Though it is a physical phenomena, this has been played in the head, and it is so important. Look at the way he goes up for a dunk. People are looking high on him, okay? Because he is having a very strong mind, he's able to go up with all his concentration, his trust, his control, his attentional focus. He's been able to be successful. This is all about the mind. And now I move into the third part. I think I have 10 more minutes to go, Amrita. Amrita, can
Yes,
I
ma'am. Yes, ma'am. You can proceed further.
Yeah. I'll take another 10 more
We
minutes.
can also have a little more time, ma'am. No worries for that.
I can keep talking, but people should be there to listen, no?
No, ma'am. I'm sure the topic is so very much interesting. I'm sure people are there.
really, Amrita, and then I'll proceed. Okay. So now,
Sure,
as I
ma'am.
told you, the psychological principles involved in sports performance. I have chosen only 5 important psychological principles which are mostly involved, which has a higher rank. It should be mostly used in sports performance. The first one is choking. This may be a very, normally we don't speak about choking in sports because it's a very, very unique particular entity. When you are overly concerned over a particular movement, you may have a very good command over your skill, your ability, whatnot, your strategies. But at one point of time, you fail. You go under pressure, and you will not be able to have any control over your motor movements. You'll not be able to be successful in executing a particular movement. That is called choking. Okay, you choke. You're not able to come up with your own originality, so you're choking. So this psychological phenomena will affect the physical and the physiological. Because the psychology is affected, the physical also will affect, and that will further affect the motor movement. Okay, I'll give one example of a basketball match which ended in a draw. And at the last second, there was a foul. So we need to have one more free throw. Now it is ended in a draw. The entire trophy depends upon the free throw is going to be made by one individual. So there are lots of supportive audience. There are lots of negative audience. The coach shouting, the team players encouraging, and there are so many people looking onto the board, and the particular person is taking a free throw. What will happen? Now the stress, the anxiety has increased. It has gone beyond the optimal level, and it's reached a very higher level that may become a stress, and that will affect the motor pattern which we are supposed to make. this particular person, this player might have been an NBA player, who have been very, very constantly doing free throw, 100% no, successful. But at this stage, what happens? When he makes a basket, the ball doesn't even go into the basket. It falls outside. Okay. So that means he is choking. He has choked. So it happens to the, very extreme, elite, significant athletes also. So as a coach or as a team manager or as a sports scientist, we need to give importance to avoid this choke. How are we going to avoid? We are going to reframe. He has to reframe. You have to rub off all those things in our mind. Complain. Don't care attitude should be there. You have to trust on your skill so that you will not lose the control of your movement. And there should not be any physiological changes occurring because of that. And the performance deteriorates and you're not able to control. So you have to reframe. You can talk positively. You have to ignore so many other things. And you concentrate on your own muscle strength and become desensitized to the experience and become seasoned. Okay. This happens with the seasoned athletes also, but it should be avoided and should be trained. And lots of knowledge has to be put in for such athletes, for outstanding athletes. The second concept is the perception. Perception is nothing but the interaction of senses. We have lots of senses, as you know. The interaction of senses happens, and we use all the positive experience which we have, and then we behave. I'll give a very general example. You're at home, and a person who is very known to you is getting into your home. So you know the way he walks in, the sound which has been produced from the slippers or the shoes, you're very familiar with that. And he makes a voice, he comes in, and you perceive the person. Say your husband is coming in. You perceive that your husband is coming in because you are very familiar with his walking style, the footsteps, the sound made by the shoes, etc., etc. Like that, in sports situation also, perception is so important. This is not the common perception, the perception over sports, perception about your job, perception about career. It is not that. This is something unique where you use your perception in sporting activities, using all the senses, having all the past experience. And the book says 1/3 of your brain is being used for perception alone. Here again, I'll give an example of a basketball player. As he comes to a front court, a ball handler is dribbling to the front court. So as he comes forward, he has to perceive so many things. He has to see the team player where he stands. He has to watch his opponents where they are. What is their footsteps? How far you are from the basket? And is there anybody to cut across? You need to make a pass like that. And some people will be waving, your teammate will be waving. And then means you're using the sense of eye. You're looking in, using your eye. You're hearing, your coach is talking, your teammates are shouting. So there is a perfect interaction of senses and you perceive what you need to do. You need to make a correct pass to a person who is cutting across under the basket. Okay. So this is importantly done, and the perception is more important, and it depends upon the skill and the experience. Experience is important. Unless you have lots of experience, unless you know the walking style of your husband, you will not be able to, your husband is coming in, okay? That may be a new person. So the past experience is important. This can happen in any game like golf, basketball, etc., etc. So first we saw it is the choking phenomena. The second one is perception. And the third one is about the imagery. Imagery is nothing but a cognitive process. It's an inner attitude which brings in outer aspect, okay? So it's a cognitive process where mind leads your body. That is there in the screen. The mind leads the body, creating a very new experience. Here also you use the senses. You visualize the things earlier. so that you'll be very successful. And there's a very common aspect everybody will know. Every psychologist will entertain the player to have a control of images. They want them to keep practicing. So there should be consistent practice of your imagining your things, the game or a particular movement. Say, for example, a gymnast, she will keep on imagining the entire process of a running, taking a flip and landing, the entire process. And some people will imagine only the free throw, that movement alone. So it depends upon where and how you make constant practice of imagination, recalling and visualizing the particular moment. That will bring out definitely a very great success when you do it in a real thing. So that is why they say the last point I have given is the real time. If you are running 100 meters, you have to visualize only for 100 meters. The timing, say 12 seconds, 12.5 seconds, 10 seconds, 10.5 seconds. Don't keep on imagining for 25 seconds, 100 meters. Okay. So that will make you a failure. So imagery, that also has an external and internal imagination. Internal imagination is imagining yourself. You imagine yourself. And external imagination is you as a spectator. You as a spectator watching your own activity in a monitor. Okay. You as an spectator watching a monitor, you performing. That is the external imagination. So there is an internal imagination where you yourself imagine and then learn. The other one is you watch yourself in a monitor and sit as a spectator and make some imagination. Okay, so imagery. And the next slide you all will enjoy, that is all about self-confidence. Okay, at the right side, I love this picture. So wherever I go, I make a presentation because my topic always will cover the society and the women participation and all that. Society has assigned a role for women normally, previously probably. It is not nowadays. There's a lovely bird, a duck with a duckling on the back. Okay, this was the, they thought this should be assigned a role for every woman. But this was broken by so many women. And I brought one woman, a successful woman, a successful player is Saina, because I love her seeing playing. So I brought her into the picture. She had to go through a tough time as she was participating in her sports career. The media was focusing her in a different way that made her tough. Her apparel, her attire was shown differently in the videos. So the parents, their well-wishers were not allowing her to play. So it was a very, very hard choice for her to choose a career in sports, being having a particular religion, culture one side, her career one side, her life one side, and the media and her parents other side. Was she went into a tough time, but she was very, very successful. I think all of you who are watching this will be with me to appreciate this wonderful lady who came out as a very successful person, who's still bringing laurels to our country and for herself. Okay, so this is all about the self-confidence. Okay, the picture was explaining about the self-confidence, which has been mostly admired attitude by everybody. Okay, maybe sometimes this inherited, or sometimes it should be acquired. The trait should be acquired by a person, self-confidence. So Amrita, let me stop here.
Ma'am, you can finish this. No worries at all.
Okay, can I
Yeah,
quickly
ma'am,
go?
you can finish. You can finish this, ma'am. No worries.
Okay. So I will just go with a few slides, but I want to end up with the most important part where I will be talking to you on differently abled people, where we need to give our hands, extend our hands to the people who are differently able, so that they also will come into our community, not just being in a community, but they'll be as a part of a community. Okay, this is about attention focus. We have the broad external and narrow external, and broad internal and narrow internal. I think so many books, if you go through dimensions of attentional focus, it's nothing but the concentration that I'm not explaining. This all of the types. There are examples, every field. A golfer, an experienced golfer, for him, the golf hole will be seen as a small, like a bigger hole. For a novice, for a beginner, the same hole he'll imagine as a small one. So like that, the attention focus talks about these things. This is also is about that. I'll quickly skip into that. And sustained concentration is for a larger movement, continuous, progressive, sequential movement. Say a layup shot in basketball. A short burst is a single throw, a free throw. Intense concentration is shooting. Okay, shooting, targeting, having a target and shooting. So this is all about the concentration, and the performance profiling is a huge task. I will leave. And stress. And sports people should be relieved of stress. Stress will spoil your game. See, even holiday is itself is a stress. Okay, people are enjoying, but they also have a holiday stress. On the left side, are you able to find anybody there? He's like inside bundled up under the files. Okay, and he's stressed at the work spot. And I'll show you the sports related stress alone. Injury. An injury makes you stressed. Your audience. Some people will not like audience because most of them will not be supportive audience. They'll be negative audience. So they will make stress. Even when I was playing, I don't need any audience. I used to be very upset when I see a huge audience. I'm not encouraged. Like that, people have their own, liking towards the audience, being there or not. And slump is a dipping. Okay. And choking, as I told you, and reduce the skill. When you feel that you're reduced in your skill, you become stressed. You lose your confidence. And your coach and the peer pressure. You see lots of coaches shouting at people, shouting at the players. That itself gives them a pressure, and they will not play. And situation. So these are all the sports related stress. You need to give importance to all individual stress related components so that you'll be able to be successful. And another one is leadership. You will enjoy this picture, so I will not skip this, Amrita. This is about the leadership. Every event, every component, every entity will have a leadership in their life. So sports also will have very successful leadership to prepare a good athlete. To prepare a good athlete, leadership should be there. So there are lots of leadership styles. I am showing you 3. One is autocratic, authoritarian leadership. Is only authority. People should listen. They cannot even speak. They should stand and listen. He may be a coach, he may be a team manager, he may be a psychologist, he may be a sports nutritionist, but they will have their own authority and they will not allow you to speak. You have to follow him. Okay, this is authoritarian, autocratic way. And the second one is delegative, free reign. There is one leader. He says, you go ahead. I'm not bothered about you. You can have your own way of practicing. You can have your own diet. You can have your own system of play and all that. Free reign. And finally, you have the participant. This I like, democratic. Okay. Sometimes you should share things as a coach. You can, put everybody together because it's a task. It's a teamwork. So you have to put everybody together so that you can discuss with them. So it depends upon the strength of the participants. It depends upon the skill level of the participants. The high level or the NBA players can never, they can have a participative, democratic discussion. That leadership can be practiced there. And depending upon the maturity of the individual. Maturity. Some people, if you give a free reign, they'll be always free. Okay. So democratic. And then, so this is the third one. So we need leadership. Best leadership maybe in sports management. We need to have. And finally, I skip Amrita on all those things, sport management. I have wonderful things with me, but I think it will take time. But I'm skipping. Now I go to the last one, which I wanted to talk to you about, the therapeutic recreation. Okay, therapeutic recreation is nothing but you take care of the people who are differently able. It's more important. See, read that which is in blue thing. Being in the community is different from part of community. Being in the university is one among the community, but here they should be part of the university. So it is the bound duty of the physical educationists, the bound duty of the players. It is the bound duty of the coach to take care of the people who are differently able. See, look at the pictures. We have one or two. This I have taken when I was abroad. They support very well, these people. Movement therapy, dance therapy, and music therapy, therapeutic exercises. And there are lots of adaptive games also, kabaddi, and so many things are there. And finally, friends, Roosevelt was a very successful king, but he was on wheels. He was very successful, though he was on wheels because of his, about his attributes. And Beethoven, he was partially deaf, but he could compose songs. And John Milton, he was a blind poet, but he was able to write poems. So you and me, fully able, need to contribute to sports a large so that we can bring laurels to our country and we will be successful, powerful human capital. Thank you. God bless you.
Ma'am, you can stop sharing the screen.
Okay. And I need to go for question time?
No, ma'am,
No
probably
time? Okay.
we have that much of time. No worries for that, ma'am. But then I assume your session was so clear, so elaborated that I don't find any questions up here.
Good. Thanks.
Okay, so moving ahead, that was really a wonderful and knowledgeable session, ma'am.
Thank you so
particularly on this psychology interfares with
Okay.
sports. And I would surely like to once again come to you and have a setting and for getting a chance to know more about this.
Oh, thank you.
Right, moving ahead, I would now like to invite the Associate Professor in the Department of Physical Education and Sports Sciences, Institute of Home Economics, University of Delhi, author of book Yoga and Stress Management, a consistent member of Indian University's women hockey team from 1987 to 1989,
great.
a sportswoman par excellence, having NIS diploma in coaching hockey from NIS Patiala. I now request Dr. Namita Saini ma'am to please come on the screen for the concluding remark and also the vote of thanks. Ma'am, please.
Thank you so much, Dr. Amrita. It's my proud privilege to conclude this session. It was a very enriching, very enlightening session, though, on the topic psychology interface with sports by Dr. Sheila Stephen, Vice Chancellor, Tamil Nadu Physical Education and Sports University, Chennai. Thank you very much, ma'am. You started by taking us to a beautiful journey of your university, which is very well equipped with all the latest features. I would say I really wish that we have many more such universities in the country if we really want to see our sports going up in the medal tally of Olympics. We always say that we all are looking forward to have some more medals and in Olympics as well. Thank you very much for that beautiful journey, ma'am.
Thank you very much.
And if we talk about your university, like people can go on the website and check all the details, what you have already shown. That is really a wonderful experience that I'm sure that many of these sports people and physical education is who want to possess and excel in physical education courses may not be aware of this kind of infrastructure that you are having. So we need to, emphasize on more of it. And if you can publicity point of view, it can be more publicized publicly. So it will be benefited for all these students who are looking career in sports. If we talk about particularly of your university, because sports psychology, you have talked so much, your lecture was so knowledgeable, valuable for the physical education fraternity. And I hope all the people who are excelling in sports now will focus on the psychology side of it. And in India, I would say that sports psychology is in infancy. This is my personal opinion. It needs to grow and develop so that it can blend with today's need and demand, to blend with the physical fitness, physical activities, and our coaching and training methods of sports to overall achievement of one goal, that is getting good performance at national and international level. You have thoroughly explained all the important areas you thrust upon, you say, starting from human values, our sports culture, then the typical section, if we see, which is directly linked with our sports performance, like our perception, our imagery, cognitive process, consistent practice patterns, if we talk about, and the especially how to keep ourselves neutral without going overperformed and remaining underperformed. And the best thing which you emphasized upon is the choking. I would say that we really need to work upon on choking in sports, which is very, very important. And if we talk about all the factors, we have taken up self-confidence, concentration at different levels. I would say, like to say that all these training programs combining with mind body synergy of athletes, whether it is a beginner or an elite sports person, it has to come in from the beginning. When we just start joining our sports, the problem which we face over here is that in schools, sports teachers, they take up all these sports together. Coaches are not there. In some developed cities, they do get coaches, trainers, but otherwise, one physical education teacher is the one-man army who looks, take these sports forward. So if we start, you have talked about talent hunting also, if we start from the beginning, that our players start their training with this psychology interfacing with sports, I think it will go a long way. Then, because in most of the competitions at school level, state level, they play the way whatever is being taught to them. And when they come to compete at a different level, that hinders their performance. Whereas our ultimate aim is to achieve maximum performance. The students who are participating or practicing in the grounds, normal grounds like concrete grounds, grassy grounds, and other. And if they have to compete on today's modern fields, so their stamina, endurance, like everything keeps them halfway because they have not, adapted that forum of competition level. So all these things where we are lacking, I really feel that I will request PEFI to write to this ministry also that we should have many more centers of science. It should not be only in the cities, as you talked about, right? So it should go a long way so that the regional area players should also be benefited out of these sports policies. And we should have a national common sports policy for at the level of school, at the level of college, and at the level of university. So that our training patterns, our innovative, latest sports sciences applications could be applied starting from our training, coaching practices to those sports people. And because sports, like we were talking, you have already, because you have covered every nook and corner of psychology, sports psychology. So there is nothing which I can add more to that. Even I have learnt a lot from you. So I have got this opportunity today, to talk on this platform. So these are the gray areas, I will call it a gray areas, where we really need to work if we really want that our sports level should go up in the medal tally. So your valuable words, ma'am, because if we just check, you started with a very good quote. It's the humans, that is the, I think, your summarizing point, and you started with that. We started that journey from there. That was a beautiful quote. A bend in the road is not the end of the road unless you fail to make the turn. It's very well said by Ellen Keller.
Ellen Keller.
It's actually, this is the way we should analyze our life, and we should start follow this route, that instead of making a U-turn, we should
Correct.
start, looking in a positive direction.
True, true.
And of course, positivity, mindfulness of mind, like of athletes, even for beginners as well as for the elite athletes, plays a very vital role for making them mentally tough, because we usually see that in dying minutes in team
Yeah.
players, I'm a hockey player, I have
Yeah.
observed many times that in those dying minutes we cannot control the game,
Yeah.
and it's a team game, and that is why a team who is leading even with 4 or 5 goals, and result changes within last 2 3 minutes.
Have you
That is the
undergone
pressure.
this? Yeah. Have you undergone this choking situation in your? Have you experienced that? The choking, the performance going down. Have you experienced that in your game anytime?
I have not experienced this choking, but I have one experience in my life which I always want to discuss, like injuries, which during
Stress.
competition takes place. That is a pressure in even
Yeah.
if dying minutes. That at times when we used to play in late 80s, that time we
Okay.
were not having that guts to say anything to our manager or coach that I want to come out of the ground. I still remember while playing the school national match, it was in the last minutes in Aizawl, Mizoram. I got injury over my eye, and the skin was,
Okay.
just hanging
Peeling
on
out.
the edge of my eye, and that drop of that blood was making my vision blur.
Blood.
So I was finding that difficulty. But that was, we were winning that bronze medal from last 2 years, and we wanted to continue it for third time. And actually, I'm from Himachal Pradesh. My schooling is done there. So, hardly we get time, like our teams get chance to play for in the nationals, and that also in top 3 teams. So that time I carried on, and with the blessings of Almighty, we were able to sustain that bronze medal for third year also. But lately, I now becoming in profession, I feel how ethical it is to keep a injured player within the game.
That's it. Yeah.
To win that one medal, maybe because a person, that was a small example, but in real competitions, we see really players, even players feel like playing, continuing. But I think we should draw a line somewhere.
True.
If we really want that player to play for a longer time, to contribute to the sports or team he's playing with, and maybe for the national teams, so that he can give his best. He should, be taken care of, that he should be out of the playground, and then he should take rest, or, even only after complete recovery, a player should go back to the field. That is my personal. Yes. And otherwise, that time, so like when we played, I have played all the matches of 70 minutes and more than 70 minutes. So that is a very, proud memory. I always feel if I go back, that, this type of sports we have played. But yes, if that time also we would have got support of, sports psychology methods and mental toughness and other things. So maybe we would have, traveled further. So that is my only observation and request also to all the stakeholders to, work on it, and take it to the ministry also, where, all the coming future budding athletes of the country may get the best of training they can. Yeah. So I would also like to thank you so much. Thank you, ma'am, for this wonderful lecture, and it's nice meeting to you. And I would also like to thank you on behalf of Physical Education Foundation of India and all the participants who have joined us in today's session. It was really a very enriching experience to interact with you, to listen to you. It was a very good time. And I would like to thank Team PEFI for their wonderful initiative. They have taken, I really want to clap for them. During this lockdown, we would have been, derailed, maybe
Yeah.
many of us would have, derailed towards other activities and all, but he kept us, stick to our field, and not only keeping us busy with the, positive track, learning and teaching processes, but also he has motivated so many sports people to be within the sports. And also I would like to thank him to um, get speakers and the masters of uh, sports and physical education arena on one platform for giving us a quality education. We all are refreshed, we have learnt a lot, and I would hope that this journey of PEFI will continue, and we will go a long way in this journey.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Team PEFI, for giving me this responsibility. Thank you very much, Dr. Sheila. I would definitely try to visit your university once.
Please, you're welcome,
Yes.
Dr. Namita.
Yeah. Thank you, Dr. Amrita and Dr. Tarun.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so very much, ma'am, for that wonderful remark. And I totally agree with you that ma'am's session was full of information, full of knowledge,
Yeah.
full of positivity. As
Yes.
I can see, very less or rather no questions in the comment section till now.
She has covered everything, actually.
Covered
there was
everything,
no
yes.
area she has left where we can, just add on anything or talk about something.
Yes, and I'm really very much sure that all the physical educationists watching this session have got their questions answered. And with this, ladies and gentlemen, that wraps up our 5th session of PEFI 2.0. On behalf of Physical Education Foundation of India, I once again thank you all for making time in your busy schedules and joining us here. It has been a pleasure to host this event, and I wish you all a very pleasant day. Stay home, stay safe. Thank you.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you, Amrita.
And
Thank
God
you.
bless you. Thank you. Bye-bye.